exploded. Interesting.
Interesting.
Well, welcome to the CouncilCast. This is the most interesting episode of 104, being recorded on January 7th, 2020, not 2019.
Yeah, almost messed it up. That's been real interesting,
man.
though.
We would have had to start
man.
all the way back to the first episode.
Oh, it's been starting over. The council is now in session, and as with every week, we will make arbitrary decisions about topics on science, technology, and random shit with little background and next to no expertise.
Nice.
All CouncilCast decisions are final and have no bearing on anything whatsoever. So welcome to the new year of CouncilCast. We are changing absolutely nothing.
New year, same us. First person to ever say that. Dope.
For the year or forever?
Forever.
All right.
Forever.
Got it.
Isn't that interesting?
Forever.
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 That's such a great scene.
Well, you know what's going to be a great scene is if Beetlejuice explodes in the sky.
I cannot wait.
How many times do we have to say it?
15 times.
Okay. I can't. It'll be so awesome. I was reading up on this beforehand. What?
Yes.
And apparently, I didn't know the stats, but apparently, we can expect a supernova in a galaxy the size of the Milky Way to happen about twice per century.
So the ridiculous
So
thing
it's really rare.
The ridiculous thing about this whole thing, though, is that most likely it's already blown up.
Well,
What?
I mean, yeah, if you want to get into this argument that I had at work with this guy
Blew up
about whether it's
millions of years
already
ago.
happened or not, like it just takes that long for the information to get here. Oh my God, we wasted like an entire day at work. I'm arguing about this. It was like we had a marker board and we were drawing shit out. And I was like, your PhD is in computer science, not this. And yeah, it was pretty great. It was a good time.
But I mean, it is 650 light years from Earth, so depending on how close it is entirely possible that it has already blown up.
But they're thinking it might go nova because of the brightness changes, right? The
Right.
fluxes in the last months.
Yep. Yeah, so the brightness has been kind of fluctuating, it looks like.
So is this what's going to happen to us if global warming continues to go out of control like it is?
Yeah, our planet's gonna go nova.
Super nova.
We will super explode.
I for one prefer a hypernova. No, I don't want it just to be super.
Hyper.
Yeah, it already happened. But also, how do I point a camera at this? That's what I'm most curious about.
Well, luckily enough, there will be so many cameras pointed at it that you won't need to point yours. Did it say how bright it's going to be? It's brighter than the moon, respectively, right?
Something like that, I think. Because right now it's like the 9th most bright, luminous star in the sky.
Right, but it went down. Like it went down a bunch in luminosity. Like it shot down like the
It's
grades.
not as bright as it normally would
Right,
be.
it dropped like several places. But when it does go nova, it'll be wicked bright.
I'm trying to see where it says how bright it was going to be.
If Betelgeuse does explode, we will be treated to a light show for the ages. For a few weeks, the star would be an incredibly bright dot in our sky, glowing
there we
strong
go.
enough to be visible by day and cast shadows by night.
That would be pretty ridiculous.
That shit's fucking bananas, and
So
I
when's this-
cannot wait for it to happen.
So how long is it going to take before it gets to us?
When's your birthday?
What's that have to do with
In
it?
May.
How long is it going to take before it gets to us?
When's your
Before we
birthday,
see
and
it.
is it a leap
Before we
year?
see it.
Oh, I mean, we don't even know that it's actually went nova yet. Like, I mean, it
Oh.
We
like
won't
in
know
the,
until after
in
it
the
happens.
in the terms of stellar scales. I mean, it's like they're like it's pretty close, and close means like within the next few thousand years.
Yeah, they
Like
do
it's
say
probably
that
gonna
it could be as long as 100,000 years before it
Right.
begins its death
Oh,
throes.
I see that now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So anywhere between next week and 100,000 years.
Wait.
I'm
I'm gonna put
totally
that
gonna
on
be
my-
alive for that.
Put that on my calendar.
Yeah, I'm really jonesing for it.
Hold
Got
my
it.
breath.
Have we been has one happened that we've been able to see yet? I know they're in like the history books of like in like tales of old. It's like people described stuff like this in the sky, but I don't has one happened in uh modern history?
Not that I'm aware of, and they don't mention
Like
anything like that.
in
At least
I
none
thought you
that we
said
would have
twice
seen.
per century.
Well, so they talk about there's 2 points in history where there have been stars that have supernovaed within a couple hundred light years of us,
Okay.
and they said the two most recent explosions happened within a few hundred light years of Earth. One that had occurred 6.5 million years ago, and the other one was 8.7 million years ago.
Yeah, this would be like we've observed like stuff like this from galaxy to galaxy and shit, but it happening and like the remnants of it, like looking at certain nebula, right?
Yeah, here they
But
were looking at rocks in the ocean that had
right,
iron from supernovas.
but yeah, to have one go off this close would be it's gonna be nuts.
So that destroys that solar system if there's a solar system around that star.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah.
So I
How-
think like
like, would it-
if the sun was a supernova, I think it would
Yeah.
literally be as big as our orbit at Earth.
The size of the sun.
Wow.
Yes.
What if the sun went nova?
So it would most likely, yes, destroy whatever galaxy it is in.
Destroy the galaxy or the solar
you
system?
mean the system?
Sorry, the system that it's in. Yes, the solar system.
We're far enough away that it would.
It wouldn't engulf us.
Yes.
Probably.
In fact, I remember reading a thing where somebody was like, "Oh, what would happen?" It's like, "Oh, well, you know, like the shockwave would ripple out, and then like the pressure that our system, like the sun, puts out would like it would essentially act as a shield."
Well,
Is it an
plus-
explosion or is it just a? It's an explosion, right?
It like
So it implodes and then it explodes. So actually,
So
the
it red
Right.
dwarfs, right?
so the sun is just fusing material together, and so eventually it gets to not having enough lighter materials where it will start trying to fuse iron together, and it can't, and it gets so massive and so heavy that it just collapses on itself, and it becomes really, 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 really small, and then explodes a shit ton of material out from it.
I'm gonna butcher this. Kurzgesagt has really good videos on supernova and hypernova that you could watch. It's a YouTube channel, and he talks about how like once the equilibrium goes out of whack, and exactly what Blaine just said, like how it happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And actually, our sun is probably not big enough to ever supernova, so
But isn't it a red dwarf before it becomes a supernova? Is that what it's called?
I don't think so.
What's a red dwarf then?
I thought Kurzgesagt
A
had one of
TV
these.
movie-
Maybe it's
TV
the
movie.
black hole one I'm thinking of.
Red Dwarf is a TV show.
Thank you.
Kurzgesagt has a video on red dwarfs.
So how do you find a red dwarf? Yeah, you just look on TV Guide and
No, it says red dwarfs are by far the most common type of star in the Milky Way.
I think they're just a small star.
So it's not a stage of a star's life.
Mm,
Red dwarf, a
No.
star is born.
does not look like it.
Okay. So the sun will never supernova, but the sun will burn out.
Probably. It will at some point.
Cool.
You know, like a million years from now. Put it on your calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, can I? I'm gonna see if I can do that. You know what? Thumbs up for this possible spectacle.
Red giant might be what you're thinking of.
Really?
Yeah. Average star, red giant, then it's supernovas.
Red dwarfs are a thing.
Yeah, they are. They're just not part of the life cycle of a star.
I thought because there's a life cycle for stars, and I thought that red dwarf was the stage right before supernova. But this is also from like when I learned about it in 3rd grade, so I have no idea what I'm talking about.
The stage right before super would be collapse. I'm trying to find the CouncilCast video. There's a
stars.
We'll post the video in our show notes for anybody who wants to watch it later.
Oh, here we
Will
go. I
we?
got a picture.
Definitely.
Here's the picture. It says
Don't keep us waiting.
Star nebula can turn into a massive star, then a red supergiant, then a supernova, then it can turn into a neutron star or a black hole. Or a star nebula can turn into an average star, then turn into a red giant, then a planetary nebula, then a white dwarf.
man. I got all your hookups. CouncilCast did like an entire series on types of stars.
I like it. Send it
Sweet.
to me.
I
Red
got
Watch it
dwarfs
in
up.
free time.
Neutron stars.
Oh, there it is.
Strange stars.
Oh, you're just posting all these. Oh, and red dwarfs. I'm gonna watch this one.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. I hope that I could see it. That would be pretty freaking sweet.
Thumbs up for space. That's not the link that I wanted.
Thumbs up for space.
I fucked up the link, boys.
I hope you didn't post anything bad.
Nope, I just posted the link to the general watch link on YouTube.
Oh.
Let me remedy the situation. Bye, Brian.
I was just gonna ask if Brian was still alive.
We love you too, buddy.
Oh man.
I like stars. They're cool.
They're super cool. There's neutron stars are friggin' nuts. Like if you want to, I'm pretty sure he talks about star quakes in there too.
They do a lot of weird stuff. You know what also is weird is using bones to build material.
Oh,
Well, kinda.
What type of material? Are we talking about clothing material, building material?
So
Talking about sidewalks,
they're talking about
pathways,
using
bridges, towers,
bones.
cars.
bones in all planes, trains, and automobiles.
oh, like the show bones.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The show bones. She is now building planes, trains, and automobiles. So,
Makes
anyways,
sense.
there's apparently some researchers at Purdue University who have started looking at bone structure and adapting how bones are made to a building material. So they're talking about kind of creating some 3D printed building materials that are lighter but stronger than existing materials.
so yeah, another example of like people turning to nature to look for inspiration
Pretty
on
much.
something that evolution may have already solved.
Yep. Yeah, because they're talking about, like, if you think about your bones, they do a lot. Not just
Think
like,
about my bones all the time. Sometimes I'm just like, holy crap, there's a super spooky skeleton.
Yeah,
uh,
I think about that sometimes
Really
too.
freaks me out.
it's kind of creepy.
Like when I'm getting clothes to get dressed in the morning, I'm like, oh no, there is a skeleton in my closet.
Yeah. Exactly.
So if you put on one of those like bone sweatshirts, it's really looking inside of you.
Yes.
So how did the experiment go?
They apparently were doing some mechanical analysis, and they found that the struts lasted pretty well. They are still kind of in the initial stages of it, but they're trying to figure out how to make it work. But they only have really small um, samples at this point in time. But they're thinking they could use this to 3D print homes.
Yeah, don't tell them not to use birds' bones though, because those are brittle.
Do they expect that they'll be able to use this to their advantage in some place like earthquake territory?
Maybe.
Or I guess I'm not sure what the goal. I mean, I guess places like Japan have already done a pretty good job of figuring out what works well.
I think I think they're really kind of leaning towards their goal is actually just adapting it to 3D printing. So
Ah,
can we 3D print these unique shapes that you can't really make with standard machining or manufacturing methods?
gotcha.
And so can we
Or
make a structure
yeah,
that is more rigid by 3D printing it? And then they talk about adapting it to 3D printed homes and other buildings, which I guess is possible.
hmm.
I don't know, it's kind of cool. I give it a thumbs up for trying to do something different. It's better than
Yeah.
those guys who are 3D printing with concrete. So
Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, Brian, by the way, texted and said his internet connection went supernova.
nice.
Brian with the sick throwback reference. My internet connection went no.
that that might be a good podcast title. All right. So anyway, what might make some people go supernova is Sonos explaining why it bricks old devices when they're set to be recycled.
So I'm very interested in this. I have Sonos devices.
So have you read this yet?
No, but I remember seeing a headline scroll by.
So Sonos apparently has a program called the Trade Up, where if you have an eligible old Sonos speaker or device, I suppose,
Okay.
you can go online and you can trade up your current device towards a new one. They basically instantly give you go in there, you put in your stuff, you instantly get a 30% discount on a new Sonos device. When that happens, as soon as you get your discount, you instantly get a 21-day countdown before your old device goes into recycle mode, which
Uh-huh.
essentially bricks it. There's no way to get it out of recycle mode once it starts. So
Huh.
if you wanted to, reuse that old device, give it to somebody else or whatever, you can't because it doesn't work anymore after 21 days. But you get your
Ah,
new fancy device. So Sonos is explaining because they're like, well, people are upset because they're like, well, it's a perfectly good device. Why do you have to brick it?
yeah.
And so a couple of the key things is that the devices that are eligible are like 10-year-old devices, or
Uh-huh.
or at least 5 years old. So they're talking about most what they're doing is They basically are stopping support for those old devices by doing this. So it only applies to the original Sonos Play 5, Sonos Connect, Sonos Connect Amp, and the Zone Player 80, 90, 100, and 120. So those are the only devices eligible.
I really like my Sonos ones.
Okay.
That's kind of all I had. They produce pretty okay sound. They're resilient. Like it sits in the kitchen and Katie splashes stuff on it.
Well, and that's
I
kind of
don't,
that's
I
kind
don't
of
know
the
how I'd feel if
thing.
they bricked it though. But like, I mean, I guess if you're sending it back, what do you care?
Well, but I think the thing is you don't actually have to send it back. Like they give you the discount, they put it into recycle mode, and then they expect you to either send it back to them or you recycle it on your own.
Well then, I mean, I mean, I see where they're coming from. Like, they don't just want to give you a 30% discount just because you say
Right.
you're gonna recycle it. Like, I get it. At least you end up with something that is like in their mind, like it's unusable now, right? Like,
Well, and that's kind of what they've said is that this is a device that's some of them are 10 years old. So what the hell are you going to do with a 10-year-old device? We don't want to
I mean,
support it anymore.
that doesn't mean that's not functional still.
Correct.
Yeah, I feel like I understand why the company does it because you have to have checks and balances. You can't just give 30% away. I mean, they could, but then where does that stop? And can anyone just apply for it? But yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, the other option is for them to turn around and sell it on eBay, and then that essentially equates to their 30% discount.
Well, I would doubt you'd even get 30% discount by selling a 10-year-old product on eBay. Unless
Yeah,
somebody's like trying to cobble something together.
so people decided to complain on Twitter. That's what you tell me.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I
Got it.
mean, they're pissed because somebody's bricking their devices, but like, if you agree to the like overall term of like I'm gonna do this, then I don't know what there is to complain about. Like, it'd be different if like after 10 years they're like, well, your device doesn't work anymore. We're
And they just
bricking
turn
it.
it off. I mean, it's valid. You're getting something in return. So I mean, it's how many other places?
And you're opting into it.
Yeah, and how many other places can you walk into a store and say, "Hey, I just want to upgrade my old device. Can I get a discount?" And they're like, "Does
What's your old device?
still work?"
And you're like, it's an Atari.
and they're like, "Yeah, here's 30% off just for the hell of it."
Here's
So this, like,
30% off a Mac
So like
Pro.
this thing, it says why does trading up require customers to permanently brick a functional product? Therein lies the controversy. The 30% discount is directly tied to the demise of a piece of hardware, which I get where they're coming from, but like, this isn't a 30% discount to previous owners like program. Like, it's a like, you're supposed to trade the thing in, right?
That's the idea. Yes.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I say thumbs up to Sonos. Thumbs
I
down
say
to the complainers.
Thumbs down to complainers.
Yeah.
Get on board. If you're gonna click yes to the trade up and you are pissed, then just go buy the device at full price.
Oh no, they did exactly what they told me they were gonna do when I signed up for this thing. Ugh.
Perfect. All right. Well, if you don't want to trade up but want to double, Origin is now offering you the ability to buy a PC with a PS4 or Xbox in the same case.
Where do I sign?
Origin, the EA?
No, this is Origin PC.
So
Introducing the Big O.
They
I'm
call it
not-
the Big O.
I'm not totally like, I wouldn't buy it, but I'm not totally shitting on the idea. Like, I know several people that have their PC and then they have their PlayStation or their Xbox right beside it, so they can, because they have both, so they can play some of those exclusives that are only on that one platform.
Right.
Like, I think it's odd for it to be like all in one thing, but I see, like, I can see, like, it's do they make it so that, like, so essentially, I haven't read this yet. Are they taking like an Xbox or a PlayStation and then pulling the guts out and putting it in the PC case
that is
as
what it
well.
looks
Then,
like. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
like I said, I don't think it's for me. I also don't think it's a super terrible idea if you're just trying to be like weirdly, like if you've got weird space and you're trying to keep it all in like that one thing. But like I would assume that it's cheaper to build the PC you want and buy the console you want.
Yeah, I bet
Yes.
so.
Like this just makes it really easy to get in
Okay.
one thing if that's your goal.
Kind of a novelty.
I'm building one right now.
See how much it would cost?
They
Mhm.
start at $2,500. So it's certainly not cheap. You could build a PC and buy an Xbox or PlayStation,
Wait, should I get a
For
PC
that
or an
price.
Xbox?
PS4.
What?
Yeah. Should I get a PS4 or an Xbox?
Put a
Man, you shouldn't
PlayStation.
get either of those. You should be waiting for next gen.
I mean,
That's probably true.
it's an interesting idea. I would agree. I am not the type of person this is geared at for sure.
I
But
can see why somebody would be interested.
But I agree with you. I think a lot of people do have gaming type of rooms, and they probably do have their PC and their 3 other consoles probably all sitting next to said TV or monitor or whatever.
Yeah,
and they
if
just all play
space is
them
a
in space.
real concern for you, I can see this appealing to a niche group of people.
But I don't know.
Maybe
if I
I'm
would
wrong.
ever
I'm
buy
curious
one.
what the comments say. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and this is how I felt kind of, is that the price is a little much.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably buy both of them and duct tape 2 of them together and not be that much bigger.
I mean, then again, if you're conscious on space, like, I mean, you can build a PC in a much smaller case than this, like a mini ITX, and then have like your PS4. I mean, that wouldn't take up much space, probably less than this, probably.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean, you're just kind of paying for the convenience of being able to get it from them, and presumably, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you like traveled a lot with your PC and your console, and you wanted to just throw one thing in your car or something,
I don't know, man.
maybe.
I mean,
I would not want to throw this in my car.
Yeet.
Throw it. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I give it
About
a
to be in
thumbs
here.
down. I'm not gonna buy one. But
I
if
was
they
able
can
to build
sell it,
one that was
go for it.
$7,000.
That's what I just built. Same thing.
Yeah,
$7,000.
I'm gonna thumbs down it too, but with like
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna
really
thumbs
weird
down it.
like rider that's like it wouldn't surprise me if there are people out here that are excited about this. I just don't know who they are.
Well, think about it. You're essentially building an Xbox or a PS4 that could be 1,000 times faster than anyone else's Xbox or PS4.
But
But it doesn't make it faster.
I mean, so my initial thought was this is similar to what the streamer boxes will do. They'll buy the cases that can hold 2 PCs in them, and then they've got their gaming PC and then like their capture PC or whatever,
Oh,
and like weird stuff like that. But
so apparently
I
they
don't know.
have a single water cooling loop for both the PC.
For the whole thing,
Yeah.
man, that's just I feel like that's asking for it. Like, good luck working on that thing yourself.
Yeah, definitely not. Well, if you're tired of rolling around waiting for your
Tired.
Xbox PC, you could instead sit in a Segway stroller.
I am so on board with this. Like, get me to my Wally fat ass chair just as fast as possible.
We just went to the movies to see the new Star Wars film on New Year's, and I
Yeah.
sat in those new chairs, and I leaned into the
New
recliner
Star
back,
Wars film.
and I'm like, I'm in Wally.
Well, you really are with this fucking half egg thing. That is just like zooming you around. What are they pushing this as? Like, fucking get up and
No
walk,
idea.
fucker. Jesus. Like, I'm on board for like somebody that's like mobility impaired or something. But like, are you just gonna like hop in this and
Well, it says you can go 25 miles an hour and travel up to 44 miles.
Jesus, that's a long ways. If I still lived in Ankeny, I could get in it and it could take me to work on the bike path. I'm not even shitting you. It totally could. All right, I'm on board now. Then you could ride this thing, and then you have your laptop right beside you, or beside you. Like you have a little
I-
shelf for your laptop, and you can just work the whole
Well,
way.
I'm off to work. I'm going to take the stroller.
Yeah, see ya, honey. I'm taking my car seat.
Car seat.
So
Strap me in, please.
They talk
44
about
miles.
and they talk about this not being a replacement either for self-powered wheelchairs. They're like, nope, totally able-bodied people should be using this.
That's
So-
yes.
In
obviously,
like what
able-bodied people should be in these
scenario?
I don't know.
I want to
future.
know. Yeah, I want to know what scenario they're like advocating. Oh, look, yeah, top comment. One step closer to Wally. Uh,
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
it's essentially just how lazy can we get. I don't know. I think Segway has run out of ideas.
it looks really bulky.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking stroller.
I feel like a scaled down, like a little bit slimmer version of this would be fantastic for just like instances where you needed to have something for people that are mobility impaired.
It's so
Yep.
funny. There were great reasons to hate this thing. It was overhyped. It was expensive. It was easy to fall off of, and most disappointing, it required extensive standing. Oh my!
I mean, I would rather just like have this
Standing
be
for 44 minutes. Oh my gosh!
a regular stroller, so I wouldn't have to push somebody
So-
into it.
Yeah.
I do feel a little bit guilty. There's a comment on here that says this is intended for the disabled. What an awful article calling it a stroller for adults. Clickbait. And then somebody said, since you didn't read the article, and that made me think to myself, you know what? I haven't read the article, so I'm talking out my ass, but that's kind of the point of the show. Is that like didn't read the article, didn't like and proud of it. Like that's the point. Like we're just like gut checking this shit.
No, they
And-
definitely say in the article, it says the S-Pod is in no way being positioned as a replacement for self-powered wheelchairs, and it appears
Okay.
to cater to mostly able-bodied passengers.
But is this like intended to take the job of like the like the taxi bicyclist in like the Netherlands or like the
Oh,
rickshaw like driver in
Okay.
like wherever rickshaws are?
I could see that. Maybe this is like some sort of push for public transportation.
Yeah, I mean, I could be on board with that. Is like allow it to use like the special lane and like all that junk. Like
Sure.
you stand up there, you hit your app, and your fucking fart
You know what?
machine comes up. And
I'd probably ride that.
do you think they come with a canopy in case it's raining or like it's too
Definitely.
sunny?
I mean,
Yeah,
oh yeah, for sure. I could do that.
we're gonna see two people banging on one of these going down the highway at like 30 miles an hour. I can feel it. It's gonna be so inappropriate.
I could definitely see this showing up in a porno somewhere.
Yeah. Riding a Segway S-Pod feels like zooming into the future. This music is killing me.
You know, I'm gonna have to give this a thumbs down. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. I don't understand the point.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down
I'm
because
giving it a thumbs down, but only because I don't really understand like who should be using it.
when my brother Jonas was 5 years old, he watched Wall-E.
So like 3
With my
years
grandma.
ago.
And after the movie was over, my grandma said, "Jonas, what did you
Wait,
think of the
Wall-E
movie?"
came out when he was 5?
It was a while ago.
No, How
And
was he just turned 21. Wall-E came out in 2008.
It does not add up.
He was decidedly not 5.
That means he was
it
born in
makes the story better,
2003.
you guys.
Okay, start. Hold on. Well, you can start over,
Okay,
and I
he
won't. I
was-
won't say it. Start over.
He was 8 then, 8 or 9, right?
That's hilarious. Yes.
All right.
Good story.
There he was, like watching Wally with my grandma. However old he was, 8, 5, whatever. Whatever, you guys. My story's over. It doesn't matter.
I
anymore.
want to hear it. I'm waiting.
So she turns to him and says, "What do you think of Wally?" And he looks at her and he just goes, "Well, it was just a bunch of social commentary." I didn't like it very much. It was just a bunch of social commentary. That was what he said.
Nah. At
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
If somebody posted that on like Twitter, that would get reposted to the /r/that happened subreddit. As like
I'll
that totally
try.
didn't happen. That's pretty funny.
I know. I was like, "Grandma, did he really say that?" Yeah, that's what he said to me.
Oh gosh,
Who is this kid?
that's hilarious.
Man, I bet Grandma's just full of shit. It's like my great aunt who swears that my first word was apple at 6 months old.
Definitely. That definitely happened.
My first word.
Belly button.
I mean, I'm not gonna contest her. She swears to God. And what do I know? I was 6 months. I don't know. Maybe I'm a genius. Did we ever think of that?
No, that never came to any of our minds.
What? Ryan, I thought we were like friends and stuff.
Nope, never came to my mind.
Yeah.
Change your name to Judas.
Judas.
Well, if we're not gonna be in Wally, maybe we can still drive some Cybertrucks around because apparently you can buy them in Russia for only $10,000.
This thing looks like somebody took 2 refrigerator boxes, put it around a shitty hatchback, and then spray painted it silver. With not even the Rust-Oleum brand. It's like
Man, it
some
looks
bullshit.
Looks like a prop for a futuristic movie that we put together for a 24-hour film festival. That doesn't move.
Yeah, that Brian's right. It is the sci-fi prop we would create in like 3 hours for the 24-hour film festival.
And the only really functional thing would be how high we would be from spraying everything with silver.
Man, Brian coming in clutch. The nicest part of this vehicle are the hubcaps.
Those are really dope.
Look at it. The headlights are like LED strips they bought at Walmart or whatever the Russian equivalent of Walmart is. So, Walmart.
Walmart.
I mean, I'm impressed with the back opening. That looks pretty fancy.
Oh, that's not a spoiler?
No.
Yeah, I can see the little oh my god.
Little hydraulic pistons.
Yes, pistons. Did I tell you the story when I went to like O'Reilly's or Advanced Auto to pick up replacement ones, like so substitute ones of those for the ones that are on my car, because I wanted it to be stronger so it could push it open when I press the thing.
Sure.
And what were they called? I don't think piston was the right word, but I used whatever the actual term for them is. And the guy looked at me funny, like, and I was like, no, the thing. He's like, no, you mean blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I mean what it's called. Damn it!
Was he talking about this? Were you talking about the same thing?
Yeah. Well, I think he just didn't know that they were called that.
Ah.
A hydrolyzer.
Yeah, that's it. Hydraulic minutiae.
The best part about this whole car, I think, is that the entire thing cost them $1,300, including the car.
1,300.
What? Does it drive, or do you have to push it around?
It does drive, I think.
You guys watch this video? This guy can't speak English at all. Everything's in Russian.
It says instead of 2 electric motors, It does. It can drive with front-wheel drive, 1.6 liter gasoline engine.
Struts.
Struts.
I called them struts to the guy, and the guy was like, "What?" It's like, motherfucker, it's in the product name, like on your website.
That, to be honest though, I wouldn't call. I would if you were to tell me you wanted to get new struts for your car. That is not the first thing I would think of.
Yeah, but wasn't just like, hey, give me new struts, which you would think suspension.
Yes.
I was like, there's trunk struts that lift it. He's like, struts are part of the suspension, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, buddy.
Technically, they are struts. Yes.
Like one time I went
it's
to
just not what he
McDonald's,
thinks of.
and on the menu, the person working behind the counter was like, "What would you like to drink?" And I was like, "How about?" And you always say Coke or whatever, and they always give you a cup. And so I was just like, "Well, I just asked for not Coke or not Sprite or whatever. I'll just ask for the cup, basically." And so I said, reading off their menu, I'll have one medium soda. And they're like, we call that pop here. I was like, it's on your menu.
Where was it at?
What was it? It was that you were dressed like a
we just got done with a rendezvous, so we were like dressed up in pre-1840s garb. So it was
where?
It was in Minnesota. I think.
Okay, yeah. I mean, most people know what you mean. It's the problem is like you can't be like, I'll have a Coke and mean Sprite. Like
except for in the South.
That's fucking right. Texas. It's like, what kind of Coke you want? But Coke is the thing, right? Like that's
I want a
that's
Coke,
the brand.
Coke. I want a cola. It's Coca-Cola.
We were back in college. We were at Wendy's on Lincoln Way, right there by West IV.
Okay.
Either the one that used to be right there. It doesn't matter. We were at Wendy's, and somebody was in front of me. It was either Lucas or Jake or somebody. It doesn't matter. They said, "This is they got like chicken nuggets," and the person was like, "What kind of dipping sauce do you want? Barbecue." And I got up there and I'm like, "I want a chocolate frosty." They're like, "Okay, what kind of dipping sauce do you want?" And I looked at them, and I was like,
"What?
Chocolate?" And then chocolate dipping sauce, and then they realized what they did. It was like, I love when people's brains short circuit like that. Mine did it, funnily enough, at a Wendy's, but I was on the other side of it. Lucas was with me for this one, and he was beside himself. Like, you just ask him about it next time, and he'll fucking go off on it for a while. But the person said, "I got chili as the side."
Yeah.
And the person said, "Do you want hot sauce or crackers?" And that's a valid question.
Yeah.
But my brain didn't process it right. And what came out of my mouth was, what's
chocolate.
What's the difference? and Lucas just goes, "What? What do you mean, what's the difference? One is hot sauce and one is crackers."
Oh my gosh.
It's like, yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really dumb. I don't."
It would have been...
to this day, I don't know what my brain heard.
What's the difference?
That was at the Wendy's in Des Moines, right off of University.
It would have been better if they asked what dipping sauce you wanted and you just said Arby's sauce. At Wendy's.
You got that dank ass Arby's sauce? Szechuan. Yeah, I don't know. This Cybertruck fucking
sauce.
I mean, it
I give it a thumbs up.
I'll give it to them. They're the first to market at 10.8. I don't know that you really qualify for the electric vehicle credit.
2 thumbs up for knockoffs in Russia.
That's awesome. All right. Well, what about
thumbs down? for controversy.
All right. Well, Elon Musk pitches for the week are up next. So what do you guys got?
I got nothing.
Matt's working on a new one for 2020.
Yeah. Yep. We'll find out later.
Working on a new one. I love it.
I'm tempted to pitch this episode of Rick and Morty that I was working on, but I know he has nothing to do with that. So I'm gonna pitch the idea that I had a while ago. An electric glow in the dark condom.
Hmm.
Mhm.
All
Shocking.
electric.
Does it only glow when orc are present? Or
Yes.
is it goblins or orcs? I don't. When does Sting grow? Or
Electric?
Glow.
Wireless, right?
Yes, it's a wirelessly charged condom.
Where does the battery pack go?
It doesn't. It generates its own via motion.
Where is the battery pack?
These are questions from Musk. I don't know
Which
where
is
any
a
of
bigger
this
issue, a battery pack or a wire you plug it in with? I think a battery pack.
Is
No
wireless charger.
Wireless would be better.
Why does it need to glow in the dark?
So you can see what's going on.
All right. Well, thumbs up for that.
I can't top that. I'm going to say I don't have an idea, but I like that one.
How else are you gonna tell the time if it is glow in the dark?
That's what she said.
Does it start glowing before or after you get started if it's powered by motion?
Before application, so you also know where to apply it.
All right, then that's a double thumbs up.
That's amazing.
You know what? I think that Elon Musk should start looking for Supernova, and he should send a bunch of his SpaceX rockets with some satellites out to go locate all the supernova and send pictures back.
Now that's a good idea.
I like that. Can he send? What type of camera is he going to use?
Whatever he wants to pick. The best. It has to be the best.
It's just
want it
like
to be
it's one of
a
those
medium format
Kodak
camera.
ones.
Kodak.
It's
One of the
actually a
ones that
Polaroid.
it's a disposable that then the spaceship has to swing back on by and shoot it in like the disposal box to like get it developed.
Did I ever show you that picture of me being born that was taken on a disposable camera?
No thanks. You
Let me show you.
described it.
It's real good.
It sounds just like how the camera gets the satellite gets the camera back to Earth, shoots it right out into the bucket.
Pew.
Pew pew.
Oh man, I have so many TikToks I need to work on.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You should do
That one of Jonas singing is hilarious in the car.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's so funny.
a CouncilCast TikTok.
Ooh, we should start a CouncilCast TikTok.
Why?
We'd be really good at it.
Because we'll never update it.
Because it will be updated as much as all the other social platforms that we use.
You'll just never put anything on it.
Until I do. Like one day you guys are gonna be like, whoa, where are we getting all these viewers from? I'm gonna be like, I've secretly been working on promoting the show for months.
We gotta wrap this up.
All right.
All right. We're gonna call
Blaine,
this
you got one?
mine was to go capture the supernova.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thumbs up for that.
All right.
Do it on a red and a disposable camera. And then we can compare.
We'll see which one turns out better. All right. With that, I'm going to call this council meeting adjourned. We want to thank everybody who is tuning in to this new year. If this is the first time you have heard our podcast and you are enjoying the new 2020 version of the CouncilCast, you can check us out Tuesday nights on YouTube where we record live, or you can search for us on your favorite podcatcher. I'm not sure if we can show that on the CouncilCast.
It's just me being born.
But you can find the audio files on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher, or check us out at councilcast.org. If you have a topic you would like the council's decision on, you can email us at councilcast@gmail.com. And if you have any creepy pictures you'd like to send, you can send them directly to Silas. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.